2019 monthly meeting. Call the meeting to order. First thing is the minutes. There was a packet sent out. I believe Lisa sent them out. Did everybody get a copy and or review the minutes?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve said minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chad. All approve, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And the minutes are approved. Second thing is the approval of the agenda. And once again, everybody got the agenda or the packet. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Agenda is approved. Okay, so next, number 4 on your agenda is the budget report, also included with the monthly packet. Anybody have questions on the budget report? Is there any outstanding expenses yet that somebody knows about that's not on the report, or is there anything on the report that they don't think should be there? Okay, so let's see. So we got about 6,300 remaining. That's good. We have a lot of things that are going to be coming up, but we're sitting pretty good. I don't know that we need to approve this. So does anybody have any discussion on the budget report at all?
No.
Okay. All right, we are going to go on then to the events commission, events committee report rather. National Night Out summary. I think last month.
Nobody was here.
Yeah,
who
nobody
went
was here
to
who
it.
was at the National Night Out. So I know we're, a couple of months in now, but someone who was at National Night? You
I was
were,
there.
right? Okay.
How'd it
How did it
go?
go? Do you remember? It was a long
I
time
do.
ago. All right.
It went really well. We gave away all the signs that we had there. We had color sheets for kids. We talked to quite a few people. Really positive response, really positive vibe. So it was good.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were we situated next to New Home Forward again, or
No, we
was it
were a
just-
few booths away from them.
Okay.
So we kind of had our own space.
Okay. And I think we discussed this, but we kind of want to continue doing that, right? Is there
Yeah.
any reason
Yeah.
not to?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Human Rights Award is number 5.2 on your agenda. Let's see.
I saw the article in the paper.
Yes, thank
Asking
you.
for nominees.
Yep, I don't know, and I meant to ask Lisa specifically if we had anyone nominate anyone. She did not indicate. I don't want to assume, but,
When was the deadline for that?
November, I think, wasn't it?
yeah.
This is still coming up.
November 21st,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah,
Say the end of November.
Yeah, I wanted to do it just before the November meeting, I believe. That way, if everything is in by then, we could formally vote at the November meeting, pardon me. And if anyone from the Human Rights Commission wants to nominate anybody, there are lines you can get through Lisa. And that's, I think, where we directed people in the paper
Mhm.
to go, is to Lisa and get a nomination form. We used there is a nomination form. It exists. We used it a while ago, and so it
Good.
serves the purpose, so we're using it again. So yeah, we'll double check. I'm sure Lisa will let us know if we get people, but I'll make sure that at least double check and ask so that we can get whatever nominations in front of the commission in November.
All right. And what was the deadline on that?
I believe it was the 21st. I thought I tried to do it
Before we
like the
meet next,
Thursday
yeah.
or Friday before the November meeting.
Okay.
That's the date that sticks out in my
Yeah.
mind.
Well, that's the date that's written down now. so.
Okay, all right, I can go back and check. If it's wrong, I will
I'll make a note of
correct.
that if it's wrong, it's not me.
Let's see. Okay, so Education Committee Report number 6.1, poster and essay contest.
Okay, we met. You have a copy of a draft, and there's some corrections to that, because we met right before the meeting. We thought we'd wait until December, not December to send it out, but send it out January 1. So I'll change that date. The poster topic will be, scratch the one that's there, and the topic will be, how can the differences among humans be celebrated for the poster contest?
Right.
We added underneath there, the contest is open to all grades from kindergarten to 12th grade for any New Ulm student. Just to clarify. And we modified the grade based on our last couple of years of poster participation and levels. We changed the grade levels for the poster K and 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 8, and 9 to 12.
Okay.
The essay topic is slightly related, but a little bit different. How can you enjoy your freedoms without infringing on the freedoms of others?
Okay.
Scratch the one that's there. And the modification we made on this one was we just added New Ulm students, and we added the word New Ulm in front of students in the first line, just to clarify. And we recommend that if we look at the categories and the number of people we had, we recommended that we keep the prize money the same for this year.
Okay.
So that's our
Is that also then an,
same prize money for the poster topic as well. Yeah.
so is there prize money for the K1 or the 2-3 or the 2-4?
Yes.
Yes.
Or am I
There's
missing
four.
that?
There's 4 categories.
We just changed the cutoffs, but there were 4 categories before, and we kept it 4.
We kept it 4 categories.
Okay.
So instead of K to 3rd, or K to 3rd, we thought there's quite a bit of disparity in ability and
In between kindergartners and third
yeah.
graders.
So we went with more.
Okay. I
Yeah.
see what you did. So it's still 4 categories, covers the same 12 years.
Right, we just
Just readjusted some.
readjusted,
Okay.
tweaked it.
All
Tweaked
right.
it, yeah.
And then for the essay, that's what we've been doing, 5 to 8, and then 9 to
Yes.
12?
And that's based on what middle school grades are and what high school grades are.
Okay.
Mhm. Both topics are somewhat related, so they'll kind of keeps that the same. But they're different enough that if you have someone who's involved in both, they can do something a little bit different. Sports. Slightly different.
So do we want to put some sort of press release out like in end of the year or January in the paper and then distribute these
Right.
to
The
schools?
schools.
Right. And I'd say the press release doesn't need to go out until these go to school, so we
Right.
can just do it all at the same time.
Right.
We can take care of that with Lisa.
Okay.
I'm gonna update this and then make sure Lisa gets a copy so she has one on file. Because Wendy had these before, so we should make sure someone has a file of these.
Lisa was shared the first time, and I don't remember if
Yeah.
it was last year or the year before, it was shared with her too.
Okay,
Okay.
but we need to make sure someone has it,
Yeah, besides me.
yeah, besides you, yeah. In addition to you, well, that's
There you
okay. So I would recommend that we go ahead with the topic with the changes as amended.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay. Everybody hear the motion?
Mm-hmm.
Or does somebody like to second that motion?
I'll second the motion.
All right. All in favor of approving the poster and essay contest for, let's see, dated December 1st, 2019 as amended, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, that's approved.
And then it would be
Thank
dated
you.
January 1st.
Well,
Right,
it'll,
yeah.
yeah, right. I was referring to if it's dated right now,
Oh,
December
gotcha.
1st,
Okay.
but
We got the
yes.
change.
Gotcha.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's see, so current human rights issues, 7.1, approved response to the editorial article in the newspaper that was also included in the packet. And we talked a little bit last meeting about it, but rather than, didn't want to get in trouble with violating the open laws or open meeting rules, so we just brought it to this meeting to make sure that everybody is okay with it. Is there anything in there that they want to edit or change? First, so I'll just open up to discussions. It is the article that starts on September 4th, the editorial, so on and so forth. It was part of the packet. Any discussion on that?
Okay, well, what I'm wondering is if we tie that to the editorial cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
because if we are going to be writing a response to this versus having two letters, maybe, because they are on the same theme and the same, maybe this can be an illustration of, or is there a way to tie it together? Does it make sense to tie them together?
Maybe. My only concern will be with space. I would anticipate, maybe getting back and saying, it's too large or what. I don't know. I do like that idea because then maybe.
It's an example.
Well, it is. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
here's our letter. Okay, and this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's.
Right. Yeah, actually, because then, rather than doing one this week and then another one, next week, I suppose
I'm-
it does make sense to put
We
it together.
we didn't put this in the paper yet?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, I wanted to make sure that
Yeah,
everyone
okay.
had it.
Mhm.
I thought we had done
open
that
discussion
via,
about it.
okay, I thought we did.
Yeah, we talked about approving it already last month, but just to make sure that
Okay.
we didn't make any decisions outside the meeting time. We just wanted to put it on there. So I think that's a good idea, Wendy.
I'm trying to think of how we would get the biggest impact with what we're going to say. If we have two separate letters, do people quit reading? If we have one, I don't know.
I think people are always
Can I see?
gonna read it
Okay.
in the editorial section.
Oh.
So then
Yeah.
maybe hearing it twice in two different
Yeah.
isn't a bad idea
I
either.
don't think it's
So
a bad idea to kind of address it twice.
this is what is going to come up under. Do we want to move this up to now and then, or tie it together in the agenda, or?
Oh, yeah, so what we're looking at is current human rights, 7.1, and then there was a late amendment regarding the cartoon, the response to the political cartoon in the October 23rd Journal, which appears to depict, I believe it's
Warren.
Senator Warren in traditional Native American dress as kind of a playing on I think, an offensive caricature of
Yeah.
her heritage. So, I'm just trying to think if
I have some concerns that we're going back to September. I don't even remember. I read that article.
Yeah.
And I don't even recall. So I'm thinking that a lot of people that are going to be reading it's already in the past. This is so fresh
yeah,
and so new that this really, I feel, needs to be addressed, bringing in, as the main topic, bringing in parts of the other.
And referencing back to it.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly, but I'm thinking, it's kind of water over the bridge. I mean, we've just have forgotten, and we haven't forgotten.
Yeah, I don't agree.
But it's been so long ago that I read it. As I'm reading this, I'm going, oh, yeah, well, okay. But
So, and there were responses that were written to the other editorial from other groups in town, and we can write, it could be incorporated in one letter, still addressing that, but using this, like I said before, as an illustration of, okay.
I
Because
think
their
we,
whole argument was that it doesn't exist, and they're putting it in their own paper. I mean,
Right.
I think we need to do something to put it in there just so people don't say, where's the Human Rights Commission standing on this? I think we need to have that, we need to comment on that.
Yep.
Just so they know where so we're establishing our stance on that. As for how we mix it in together with this one is entirely, but we need to make sure we reference that, I think is important, the previous one.
And we just kind of discussed that last month, that even if it was late, it was still, because it's an ongoing problem.
Right.
So it doesn't seem too late to talk about it.
right.
Maybe we'd have to rephrase, well, I think you did, right? You stated that racism is not institutional.
Yeah, I mean,
You kind of paraphrased what
I
they
did.
said, yeah.
I paraphrased it because there had been some time.
Right.
That had passed. Well-
It's an I think this is a slightly different issue because it's portraying a negative stereotype of an ethnic group and a particular person. And yet it's also satire. Political cartoon makes it difficult to pinned down, so to speak, but it's no different than the people, the Native Americans protesting on Thursday night up at the Vikings game,
Right.
you know, for the Redskins, that Washington NFL team. is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Reference is referred to.
Yeah. So I suppose the question before us right now is, do we want to create a separate response for this, or do we want to tie it into the response for the institutional racism?
Do we just
Well-
vote?
Or what, okay. 'Cause this, technically, would this be institutional racism? It's racism, obviously,
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
you know,
Might
but
just
is
be
it?
But it's
blatant,
not.
but I don't know that it would be institutional.
That's what I'm wondering, so maybe it's two
That's-
separate things then.
I was kind of thinking that as well. It's not exactly the same. I mean, it
Right.
could, it's loosely. I mean, you could say, the perfect example is, this type of, normalizing this type of stuff. It really all goes hand in hand, but it is different. I think different enough that perhaps a separate one is warranted. Does anyone have a strong feeling either? Maybe.
I feel like think two separate responses would be appropriate.
Okay.
I would agree with
I
Deanna.
agree to
I would
that.
agree as
I
well.
agree to that.
All right.
It's current, and I think it needs to be addressed.
Okay. So, well, let's do this then, and we'll take it. We'll take it piecemeal. First of all, can I have a motion to address these two articles in two separate responses?
I move to do that.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right. Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, so the New Ulm Human Rights Commission will address these in two separate article responses to the journal. Next thing I want to do is make sure the one that is already prepared with regard to the institutional racism piece, can I get a motion to approve that as it's written?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got it, Wendy?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I don't want to get too far ahead of you.
We're good.
Okay. Thank you, Jen and Larry. Any, I should say rather, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Okay, so motion carried. This will be submitted tomorrow for publication.
Okay,
That-
so,
What?
sorry, could I just need to ask, so are we gonna need to wait a month to okay a letter in response to this cartoon? 'Cause
No.
It seems like it should be more timely.
No,
so.
and
No.
because, and that's what I was thinking about, because last month when we talked about this one, the mayor said that we could have essentially an emergency, not an emergency, but an ad hoc committee. So
Okay.
if we wanted to get together, say, whatever, Thursday, if someone wants to write it, and then Thursday we get together, as long as there's enough
Okay.
time for notice and things like that, then we can approve it at that time and send it out. So, just, can I get a volunteer who would like to author the letter? I can?
I can do it.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Should we set up a day and time now, and who can get there can? That way, I don't.
Do
think-
we have to meet in person, or can it, I know it gets funky with the email with quorums and whatnot, but it also
Yeah,
gets, meeting in person wouldn't be any different, right?
Yeah.
So,
Lisa be the go-between with the emails, though?
not really. It's a little dicey. I think we should just do it in person, and who can make it, can make it.
What are we thinking
well, the sooner the better.
this week?
Yeah, can we, maybe give me tomorrow to do it?
Sure.
Or even, I could write it tonight. I mean, I just think the sooner the better, so.
It needs to be, it needs to get in
it
before
needs-
it's
and they're not
forgotten.
gonna put it
Yeah.
in right away usually,
That's
so
right, it
that's
takes a
why-
few days.
So maybe we meet tomorrow.
Okay.
Does that work?
Okay.
Okay.
Time and place?
Well, time first.
Five?
Okay, I can probably get back to town, sometime after 5 would be preferable for me.
Okay. Is Lowell's open at after 5 on Tuesday?
No, 5:30 they close. Yeah.
Okay.
We go to the library,
Library?
unless you want coffee.
What kind of do?
What?
That's it, unless you want coffee.
Any other ideas?
What is that? Is that little coffee place by Wooden Windows? Does that have a place to go in, or is that
No.
just a drive-through?
It's just a
I believe it
drive-through.
closes At 3 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about like Perkins or something like that?
Sure.
Okay. What's that? Okay, but
5:15.
what would
is
you
Perkins?
suggest?
You just want
Okay.
the coffee.
No, I want tea actually, but I do want something hot beverage.
Okay, so, then there will be a meeting then tomorrow
Yeah.
at, did you say 5:30, Wendy, or 5:15?
Well, let's do it. Does it matter to anyone else? The later, the better for me.
Okay.
As far as getting back to town. So if it doesn't matter to anyone else, I'd say 5:30.
Okay, 5:30?
Perkins.
Tomorrow's the 29th, right?
Correct.
Do you have to have somebody for a quorum for that meeting or not?
No.
Do we
No,
get in
as long
trouble if
as-
we have a quorum for that meeting? That's what, or how?
That's,
No.
I'm not able
That's
to
how it
make it, so that was the question I was thinking of numbers. Is that something that has to be or has not to be?
Or quorum.
Because,
Ad hoc, right?
right, it's ad hoc, so I'm gonna have to take a look just to make sure that I'm 100% correct, but, it's ad hoc, so we can meet even if we don't have a quorum because it's been announced, right? And so the public knows.
Are you asking? 'Cause I don't know.
Sort of.
Public knows or the
Yeah.
committee knows?
Well, I
Public,
think it has to be
It
publicly
has to be
announced.
public,
Yeah.
yeah.
yep.
So is that announced then tomorrow on the radio, or is that, where are you talking about this being announced at?
And that's a good question. When does this air?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, maybe we just email Lisa in the morning and.
Yeah, do they just
and
put
if
it on
it's
the
too
city
soon-
website?
I
or-
think that could just be
Yeah.
something that,
Yep, let's do that.
so.
So that'd be
you can let
tentative.
Lisa.
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I'll email Lisa. So that'll be, wait, no, I can't tomorrow. So I'm in court almost all day. So if somebody else can email Lisa, that'd be great.
To check about the open meeting law?
Yeah,
I gotta check where they're with this, so I'll do
Okay.
that too.
okay, thanks, Larry. Just email and see if we can meet, and if so, you know, if she needs to put it on the website or whatever.
Email everybody.
Okay. So unless we hear otherwise, if you can make it, 5:30, Perkins,
Okay.
to go over the response of the cartoon, okay?
And if anyone has any thoughts or things that they really want included in the letter, if you can email it to me ahead of time and I will, you know, if you have
Mm-hmm.
something good to say that could be, I have thoughts.
So do we need a motion then to approve, let's say the committee that meets tomorrow approves it? Do we need a motion, a formal motion for that, or?
To
if they-
pre-approve,
Yeah.
pre-motion that if we do agree to approve it tomorrow, then it's
Right.
approved to go in.
I just don't want to have to come
Okay.
back, you know,
Yeah.
next month and review it all in this form, but
So we just make
I
a
think
motion
that's-
that whatever the committee agrees on tomorrow would be okay with, everybody agrees that it'll be all right to put that in the paper.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
let's do that, just to be on the safe side. But I think if
All right,
we, I
is
think
there
if
a
it's
statement
approved
good
at tomorrow, then I think it's
Okay.
fine, but,
Well, if there's a quorum there, why wouldn't it be?
exactly.
Okay, then I think we're okay.
Okay,
My notes.
all right, well, then we're just gonna, any more on that?
2, 3,
4, 5.
5.
Any more discussion, questions, comments? Okay. Let's see, legislative update. I don't have anything for that. City council liaison, number 9.
I was at the meeting. There was, that's the first council meeting I've ever been to, moving now to Brown County.
Yeah, how was it?
From Nicollet. kind of boring. No, it was a very short meeting, and they had no human rights issues at all. It was more on the street assessments and those sort of issues. It was about a 25-minute meeting.
Okay. Let's see. Other business, panel on race, Mankato Area Diversity Council, New Ulm Forward, New Ulm Human Rights Commission. Sorry, Wendy, am I getting ahead of
Okay,
you
no,
here?
you're talking fast, but I'm writing fast. It's okay. Okay.
All right, let's see, who was it that was talking about this? To be honest, I don't remember the panel on race. Do we know what?
Well, it was, I think they had it's stemming from what New Ulm Forward is doing, but wanting to include other, like, groups in town, and they had a dinner where
Yep.
various groups and people were invited just to kind of sit down and share a meal together, and Vukata Hayes was going to be the liaison and get conversations started. And I wasn't able to attend that, but I think that's
I saw it in the
this
paper.
was, yeah. And it had a really positive response from what
That's
I heard.
awesome.
And they are going to do it again, too.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do we know when the next one is gonna be?
I think a tentative month was set out. I don't think a specific date
No.
was, but I can check into that and for sure and I know it's not going to be before our next meeting, so
Okay.
it would be nice though if we could all go. It sounded neat.
Okay, and then, so 10.2, this Diversity Council, Vukata Hayes, was she supposed to speak? He, sorry.
He
Compose
this was
survey, I
back
don't know what
to
that means.
I'm testing my memory. We're going to, I think this stemmed back to before the fair and before, where he was going to help us compose a survey so we could, when we're meeting all these people, we could collect information or what people are thinking. I think it was stemming back to that.
Okay.
So I don't think it's anything current, but
Okay.
maybe, not to say we shouldn't still do it, but I think we wouldn't use it really until the next time that we have a booth set up at New Ulm Forward or at the fair.
Okay. Okay, and then Welcoming Communities Project, November 5th in Sleepy Eye. First meeting. Anybody?
Was someone supposed to speak on that?
I don't know.
Is this the one that the Sleepy Eye has received a grant for for organizations of this type of committee?
I think
And
so.
we've been invited, or they're making it more of a, including New Ulm with it, and it's just an introductional meeting. I thought there was supposed to be information sent to us here that was I don't even know who talked to me about it, but I think that we were supposed to get information about it so that we'd be welcome to attend this meeting
Okay.
and work with them.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I didn't get any information, so I don't know
Okay.
really anything about this.
And I've just sort of heard it secondhand, so I'm not an authority to pass things on with it at all.
Then maybe we could just have Lisa email whatever information she has to everybody, and if we can go.
It's Tuesday, November 5th, and I'm not even sure where it's at. I
Yeah.
suppose the event center, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't have a time or a place, so I'm guessing Lisa probably has that information, and so if we can get her to email whatever information she has to the commission, and then, yeah, like I said, if somebody can make it, that would be great. Let's see. Can someone email Lisa about that tomorrow?
I can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then 10.4, Dignity Pledge Program. Who can tell us about that?
Okay, I can talk on that. And I think this is more of just an informational for something that kind of happened in the community in the past week, but the Dignity Pledge program it's really old. It's been going on since the 1980s. This particular, it's a religion-based program, but what they do is they go into elementary schools and middle schools, or excuse me, I misspoke, not elementary, middle schools and high schools, and do a school-wide presentation, minus the religion component, because that obviously wouldn't be allowed. But what they did here is they handed out tickets to kids, inviting them to this awesome event at night where they could see an illusionist and they could see, have pizza. And then on the backside, they asked for the kids' information, their contact information. And so my kids went, and it was all, okay, here's what we couldn't tell you in school. And how everything, about creationism, about how it was God. Bibles were handed out. They prayed together. But it was, the kids were invited to come there through the schools. And the schools were unaware, or at least were unaware that those would be handed out. It crossed lines. And I think it was just on here Jackie wanted to put it on here just to, I think, make us aware that, and this group is going to all the schools in our county, and it's something that they do and they have been doing. There's reports through the Freedom from Religion Foundation that has been, they walk this fine line between, they know they can't talk about it at school, but it's almost like,
But the kids are giving them their personal information and then they send it to them?
no, they fill out
Say
their
that's not legal.
they send out the back of the ticket or the back of the flyer that invites them to come, asks for their name, their email, their address, and their phone number, and then they turn it in for a drawing.
Yeah.
And so my kids turned in their information, and as a parent, I was a little, concerned about that and how it would be used. But it almost seemed like a deception where it wasn't put forth as far as why they were being invited. It was, come and see this illusionist, come and get pizza, not come and be kind of preached to or indoctrinated, is what it felt like to me as a parent. But
That's giving out a lot of data privacy.
Well, and it's
But-
also
but
like coercing people
but it
that are,
also,
like, not really,
is,
but-
and it's, to me, it was, I don't think it was technically illegal, but when they do go through the school and then invite everyone back to that public school, so the same people presenting, the same place where it took place, and now this is the second part of it, and this is what we couldn't tell you during the school day, it ties it with the school. And I think that's a really super fine line that,
It seemed as bait and switch kind
Yeah.
of thing. It was definitely seemed billed as secular or a-religious, and then was anything but when you got there.
yep. My kids came home with Bibles, so.
Does anybody know who runs this?
Yeah,
The,
Bob Lentz, I think it's Bob
Lentz,
Lentz.
Oh, that group, okay.
Dignity Pledge Program,
Yeah.
and it's called something else as well. There's
And what they did at the school, and the reason my kids went at night, it was, the school program was good. There wasn't anything wrong with it, but then it almost seemed like that wasn't their main message, though. The main message is to get them at night, and now, here's everything we wanted to tell you. So I think it was just a concern. This isn't the first time they've been in New Ulm. They were here, according to the superintendent, who I emailed about this, that they were here about 4 years ago. And he wasn't aware that there was a connection between the two. They did do an evening program then, too. But looking and researching this this organization, this is just kind of what they do, and they've been doing it for a long time.
So, yeah, so something to be aware of.
Just to be aware of, I think, is all
I
we're-
agree. It's not,
Mhm.
it kind of comes up to that line.
Do they plan to continue to work with them?
The last response that I had was that the superintendent was going to pass on my concerns on to the pastor in town that organized it, but I haven't heard anything from him. So I still plan to maybe contact him and let him know. I think my sense was that the schools didn't know that there would be a connection between the two. And they certainly, he said, didn't know that they would be handing out the information, or gathering the information from the school.
Have you received anything via email? The kids received anything like that with that kind of a follow-up yet?
No.
Okay, I was going to say,
Not that
that'd
they
be
have told
something
me,
to
yeah.
monitor too.
Mhm.
Because I know that was in our, if it was in our church bulletin or it was during the announcements, we were encouraged to attend.
Mhm. And I think it would have been just fine if it was presented that way.
Yep.
And
Right, if they-
not via the schools.
And
not
we're
through the schools.
transparent about what
Mhm.
what would be happening.
I know, like several churches required their confirmation kids to go as part of their class, and that's all fine, that's
Right.
fine. But to me, there was almost this kind of trickery component to it, where they're getting kids to come under false pretenses, and then you have a captive audience, and you get kids that are, and I don't know, I know that, at that age, you're not going to feel comfortable standing up and walking out on something that you don't agree with, so you're stuck there. And
What was the age?
the age,
Yeah.
middle school and high school,
13?
to 5th grade and up.
So that's what, 12?
Yeah, what's the cutoff for
11,
releasing
12.
private
Maybe
information? You need to be 13, right?
to give out private information.
Online, I think you can, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that,
I believe so.
13 is, you can't have a
12 or
Facebook, you
13.
can't have a Facebook account until you're 13
Yeah.
officially, things like that.
So that would be a legal thing then too. I was just thinking ethically to get kids information without their parents knowing
both
about it.
ways.
And why would you want that? What would be the purpose of having
That's
that?
the purpose of
And
getting
that's
that.
what
There's
I-
going to be something underlying there. I don't like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
feel
did-
comfortable.
I emailed this Lentz and I haven't heard back. They have a Facebook page and I messaged on there and just asked what he planned to do with my children's information and I haven't heard anything back. But,
Well, if you do, would you
Well, maybe talking to
follow
the
up?
church and finding
Sure.
out what's going on.
yeah.
All right, any other discussion on that? Okay, let's see, so, date of the next meeting, it is the week of, Thanksgiving, so, try to let, if you know you're gonna be gone or whatever, try to let Lisa know right away, because if we need to move that, the sooner we know, the better.
I'm here.
I will also be here.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Everybody's back on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Because-
According to school, don't
Yeah.
dismiss, right?
No.
Okay, so,
Might be dragging a little bit, but
Yeah.
we'll be
That's
back.
before
Maybe bring
Thanksgiving.
leftovers that we get a
There we
little
go.
black.
Before Thanksgiving.
no, it's before.
It's before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is 20.
Oh, it is
Oh, it's
Before.
late this year, that's right.
7 or
Okay.
It's the Monday
yeah.
before.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the same. If you're taking that week off, going to Barbados or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be
Larry's
awesome.
got-
We're all going to be
Larry's
here, aren't
got
we?
3 bungalows in
I'm here.
Barbados. I'll take
Well.
I'll take one of them, I suppose. All right. Is there any other discussion about anything that we missed?
No.
Okay, so a couple of follow-up items. So we'll be hearing from Lisa, hopefully in the next couple of days. One about the meeting, and then about the Sleepy Eye. Yes, so because that's next week already. So the sooner we can get some info out on that, the better.
And Larry, you were going to let us know what Lisa says right tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll call her early tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, well, if no other business, then can I get a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Chad. Can I get a second?
A second.
Sit it first.
Thanks, Dee.
Okay.
Give it to Dee.
Okay, you got it.
All right, all in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone wants to stay here, say nay. We're adjourned.